So today we're not taking that A440, but we are taking just a little bit older piano, so I want to work with it instead of against it. You can look at something real quick. Starts with G. Okay, that works. Okay. So have you been back home with me?
To Guatemala?
Yeah,
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I go at least once a year.
that's great. I bet there are some. I'm a foodie type person. I love to cook, so I bet there's some great recipes.
Oh, the Guatemalan food is to die for.
I didn't start cooking till I was about in my 30s.
Was it necessity that?
Yeah, I didn't get married till like 38, and I discovered butter and bacon. I used to be the same height and weigh about 175 pounds.
Well, but even without discovering butter and bacon, you would have grown sideways.
I'm sure.
That's just the way of things.
I'm gonna put some glue on this piece so that it will kind of hold real quick. And it'll have time to dry while I'm cleaning.
Oh, that lovely piece of felt that was just like
Yeah,
dangling.
yeah. It's actually supposed to kind of be apart. So we'll just put a little bit of glue on it. There we go. I'll have time to dry while I'm here. You talking about being a language teacher? It seems like they would introduce a lot of that stuff in preschool and kindergarten because that's when you can learn.
That's when the kids would soak it up. Like I know.
Because they're not intimidated; they're just ready to learn.
In these latitudes, unfortunately, it's very sad. I have a lot of parents who fight it just as much as the kids.
Oh.
Like, I don't know why they put my child in your class. In our house, we speak American. And it's like, yeah, well, you know,
Keep speaking it.
yeah,
It's not going to help you grow. It's gonna keep you in one spot.
not just that. It's just if the kid doesn't learn the language, they can learn something else.
Yes, besides that.
We're such an interconnected economy. You cannot just think that this county is the end of the world.
You just remind them that Jefferson spoke seven different languages. The guy who wrote the book.
Right. I didn't know that. He spoke that many languages?
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to start quoting him because they all think that it's my idea for their kid to learn a language. And
no, it was Jefferson had the first library in America. He spoke like seven different languages. He was, I think, an ambassador to France for a while. No, he spoke all kinds of different languages and was.
well, I think it has proven. I mean, life and history and whatever has proven that the ostrich effect doesn't help very much.
None.
It doesn't get us anywhere.
Yeah, not at all. And what people will find out along the way, the games aren't bad that kids are learning, but they have to take that dopamine hit and apply it to life challenges because that's the real game. You're really going to lose if you lose at life, more than just boards and a status on a TV screen. But you can take that same dopamine hit that they're getting from playing these games and put them in life situations, and then they get addicted to life. or a new language.
Mhm.
Yeah, he spoke a lot of different languages.
One of the things, like when seniors ask me to sign their yearbook, I always write the same quote because I stand behind it 100% of the way, and that is always keep your passport current.
Yeah, because you don't ever know where you're gonna go.
You never know what opportunity knocks on the door. You can hop in a plane and be in a different place in a matter of hours. And then you start jumping feet first into life.
Yeah,
Because that's when you realize that things are done differently in other places, but that's not necessarily bad or good. It's just different. And one can do the same things differently and
yeah,
reach the same goal.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, from like birth until you can actually, I don't know what the odds are, but they're probably 75% that you can learn to have perfect pitch because Chinese is pitch based. And there's a guy on YouTube, Rick Beato, and he talks about how a child can be trained because the brain is wired to figure out speech pattern from like birth until about 6 or probably 7 years old, but it diminishes between 5 and 7. And if your child clears all the notes from A to C, it categorizes them as words and puts them in their own little spot. And then that kid can have perfect pitch until they're about 60 because it's trying to figure out if that's a word. And so they ought to be learning other languages at that place because they're going to learn it the most right then.
You know what? When my last 2 years of college, I lived with my sister, who I told her is the pianist.
Yeah,
She was still in school then, and she practiced 6 to 8 hours a day.
yeah,
And we were poor students, so we had this cute little apartment, but it had lousy heating. So in the winter time, when it was really really cold, the only room we kept comfortably warm was the room where her grand piano was,
okay,
because she spent so much time on it.
right,
So I would sleep under the grand piano. I would throw a mattress on the floor and would sleep under the grand piano.
yeah,
And she always she went I was able to tell whether she was playing a black key or white key.
because you might have perfect pitch. If you don't, you got near relative pitch.
I don't think I have perfect pitch, but I have. And she thought it was something with her piano, but we tested it out in any of the pianos at her college, and I could always tell whether she was playing a black or a white.
That's so cool. You probably had perfect pitch and didn't know it because it was there, but you didn't use it as much, maybe. Because that's really impressive to know between a sharp and a flat, or a sharp and a neutral.
Another thing that I do is I hear music in colors.
Yeah, that's where you're at. You probably could have between birth and like 5 or 6 developed the perfect pitch because it sounds like you were on the road. Because people that have perfect pitch, they associate pitch with colors. It stores in that same spot.
Hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people think I have perfect pitch. I don't. I have great relative, like probably perfect relative pitch. And if I don't, I've got it close enough to tune really well. And so that's how this is so easy for me. Love those wind chimes.
That's my mother saying hello. Somebody gave them to me when my mother died,
Oh,
and it's supposed to be like like the memory chimes forever or something like that.
that's
Is
pretty
what
cool.
the little thingy that makes the sound says. And where I had them in my old house, I could rarely hear them because I think they were too wind protected. Here, I rarely don't hear them, and I almost forgot my mother. I'm not kidding you. I almost forgot her. And the day I moved out, I'm like, oh, I can't leave my mom behind. Put them in my car.
That's so cool.
But all that's my mom saying hello.
Let's get this one good. A little bit high. Let's get that back down. It's so interesting. This thing will come out of tune while I'm tuning it. Along the way, so you kind of have to do it multiple times as you go.
Do all pianos do that?
Yeah, they sure do. Most technicians don't even know that. I worked with a studio for a little while, and a studio. I actually work with one now, but where I learned this when I first started tuning, he could say, "Man, it sounds in tune, but when we put it up with the tuner, it's out just a little." And so he kind of hung out with me while I tuned one day. He said, "Oh, it's coming out of tune just a little while you're doing it." And so you have to, like a lot of things in life, you got to go back and do a couple different passes to make it stay. But I mean, it takes a little time, a little extra time, but that's why I tune for the Eagles and Bruce Hornsby and all those people. See, that's out just a little, but it was in tune when I left it. It's because we're adjusting so much tension along the way. It does that, it makes it drop. To go get that in a little bit. Not long now. We're almost there. So let's see how it sounds. So just a little bit flat. Okay, I'm gonna do some test songs that they're gonna make my YouTube channel be bad. So I'm gonna turn that off.